Hi, I'm Veronica from Earth Mother Apothecary. Welcome back to my channel. Today we are making elderberry syrup. You know I love my elderberry syrup. I talk about it all the time during the fall and winter months, and there's a reason for that. It's an amazing tool to have in your herbal medicine cabinet. It's great not only at preventing colds and flus, but at reducing the duration of cold and flu if you already have one. So today I'm going to show you how to make elderberry syrup using one of our elderberry syrup kits. Today we're using the Amped Up kit. So this, in addition to the elderberries, is going to have cinnamon sticks, argan grapefruit, astragalus, rose hips, and ginger. And all of these things have amazing benefits in themselves. So let's talk about them. Elderberries, as you know, they're purple berry. They're full of antioxidants. So they're going to be, like I said, great at preventing cold and flu, shortening the duration. It's great for respiratory ailments and things of that nature. It's great for stomach aches, and it's also good for things like sore throat. Okay, so next we have cinnamon sticks. Cinnamon, well, let's face it, it just tastes amazing, so it's gonna make our syrup taste great. Cinnamon's good to give you energy. It's great at reducing inflammation. It's antibacterial. Let me see what else I got in here. It's antifungal, antioxidant. You'll notice that most of the ingredients in here have antioxidant properties, and that's because we want that to keep that free radical damage down and keep our immune system working at full capacity. Okay, so next we've got Oregon grapefruit. Again, Oregon grapefruit, antimicrobial, antiseptic. This Oregon grapefruit is also an anti-amoebocytic. It's antibiotic. It helps with liver stagnation and infections. Astragalus. You've probably all heard of astragalus. Again, it's great for colds and flus and things of that nature. But it's good for stress, and it's good for cardiovascular health. It's good for a whole number of reasons, not just for cold and flu. Then we have rose hips. Rose hips, again, it tastes great, and it's going to give you a very nice dose of vitamin C, which when you're sick or you're trying to prevent being sick, vitamin C always comes in handy. What we have next is ginger. And all right, ginger, you know, is one of my favorites, especially in the winter months because it is warming. It helps your body to just, I get really cold hands and feet all the time, and ginger is good at making the circulation come down through your extremities and get right to those hands and feet so that you can warm up and not have to have those cold, stiff fingers. Ginger is also, again, an antimicrobial, antibacterial, antifungal. It's good at boosting your immune system. It's great for digestive issues, nausea, and things of that nature. And again, it tastes amazing. So that's the base of our mix here. And then there's some things that we'll add to it along the way. But first things first, to make this syrup, you're just gonna need a small saucepan. It doesn't need to be too big. Your elderberry syrup kit. And then you're gonna need 3 cups of water, preferably filtered or spring water, or something that you know is pure. Because when you're making your herbal medicines and your herbal remedies, you want to use as high quality products as you can so you have the best results. That being said, everything in our package here is either organic or wildcrafted. Okay, so we're gonna open this kit up. If I can get it open. And we're just going to go ahead and pour it all right into our saucepan. Now the directions are going to come right on the back of your package, so you don't have to worry about anything. It's all going to be right here for you. And again, so it says, I'll read it out to you. Prepare syrup, add contents of package to a saucepan and cover with 3 cups of water, which we're going to do right now. Okay, so I've got my 3 cups of water. I'm just going to pour it right over. Okay, next, bring it to a boil. So let's go ahead and get this on. So we're gonna bring this to a boil, and then we're gonna reduce the heat down and bring it to a simmer. And then we're gonna let it simmer for about 30 minutes. So let's see what we've got going on. While this is simmering, let me tell you about what's gonna happen next. When this is done simmering, we're gonna add honey to it. Honey is amazing. It's got so many good beneficial properties for you. First, it doesn't generally make your blood sugar spike up like traditional table sugar would. It's also, again, antimicrobial, antifungal, antibacterial, antioxidant. It's got calcium, it's got iron, magnesium, manganese, phosphorus, zinc, copper. It's got selenium, chromium. It's full of vitamins and minerals. It's full of enzymes and amino acids, and it is amazing for your body. It's, as you know, it's also really good for sore throats. It's great for as a cough suppressant without having to take anything over the counter that might depress your nervous system or raise your blood pressure. Honey's not going to do that to you. And so it's important when you're making something like an elderberry syrup, especially if you're already sick, to have those properties in there where it's going to help with your cough, and it's going to help soothe the sore, achy throat, and it's just going to help. It helps with digestive upset too, so it's going to help coat that, and it helps to promote good gut bacteria. It helps it to grow. So amazing benefits of honey, and it makes it sweet, so that especially if you have kids, the kids are going to want to take this because it's sweet. Now, I've told you before, you know, I like to use my food as my medicine is my food. So during the fall and winter months, my family and I, we will take this elderberry syrup every single day. To make it a little fun, sometimes what we do is we take pancakes and we just pour a little bit over our pancakes. We incorporate it into our daily food, into our daily routine. So it's not like we're taking medicine, we're taking food, and that's exactly, everything in here is food. There's not going to be any harsh chemicals. There's not going to be anything that you can't pronounce in here. Everything is natural, it's beneficial for your system, and it's going to really help you out this cold and flu season. So let me get this up to a boil, and then we will start adding our honey. So we've been simmering our mixture for about 30 minutes now, and so I'm just going to turn the heat off and take it off of the burner. I have a spatula. What I'm going to do, what I like to do is I kind of like to crush up the berries a little bit, because in the beginning they're dried, they're hard, so they can't really crush them. But now that they've been softened by, you know, the simmering water, it's easy to crush these berries. And I just feel like that helps to release all the properties that they have in them. And, you know, I want my elderberry syrup to be as potent as possible, so I want to get every last drop that these herbs can give me. So I'm just going to mash those up just a little bit. You can certainly use like a potato masher or something, but the berries are so tiny that I find that just using a spatula works better for me. Okay. So I think that's pretty good, because like I said, they are pretty soft now, so you can mash them pretty easily. The next thing we need to do is to strain off all of these herbs. So you're going to need a strainer of some sort and a vessel to strain it into. So I've just got the same measuring cup here that we measured our water into earlier. And I'm going to put that right here on the stovetop. I'm going to use this jar here to kind of prop that up so it doesn't go flying anywhere. And then I'm just going to pour right through. Okay. You want to scrape all of your herbs into the strainer, because what we want to do is use our spatula to push down and kind of squeeze those herbs out. We want to, again, get every last drop that they can give us, so we have the most potent syrup that we can have. And you can see our liquid has reduced by almost half. We started out with 3 cups of water, and now we're down to about 1.5 cups. So I'm just going to give these a push, mash them up a little bit, get all the liquid I can out of them. And this gives my mixture a minute or so to cool off, because next we're going to add the honey. And honey, like I said before, it's full of all kinds of enzymes and things like that. And some of those will, if you're putting it into a hot liquid, some of those are going to get killed off. So I like to have my honey, again, giving me the most benefits that it can. So I generally like to cool my syrup down for probably 20 to 30 minutes before I add my honey. You still want it slightly warm, because that helps to dissolve the honey. Especially, I'm using local, raw, unfiltered honey, so it's a little bit thick. So it needs a little bit of heat to kind of dissolve it down into your liquid. All right, I think that's about as strained as I'm gonna get it. Now, I'm gonna just put this over here in my pot, and I'm gonna wipe off my spatula because I'm gonna need it again here in a second. Okay. So like I said, I have some local raw unfiltered honey that I have from a local beekeeper, and I always recommend if you can get local honey, that's your best bet. It's gonna have all the things you need in it, and it's better than a lot of the stuff out of the store. A lot of the stuff in the store is basically colored corn syrup. So now we're gonna add about a cup of honey. I'm just gonna eyeball it. You can feel free to do that as well. About a cup of honey to this mixture here, and then we're gonna stir it up and get it all nice and dissolved. This is a sticky business. So worth it though. So let me see, so yeah. So elderberry syrup, it lasts for probably 3 to 5 months in the refrigerator, depending on how fast your family takes it. And that's with no preservatives, just the honey, because the honey does act as a preservative. If you want it to last you a little bit longer, you could always add a little bit of alcohol when you're done, maybe like a half a cup of alcohol or something, just to kind of extend that shelf life a little bit. You could add vodka, you could add brandy or rum, whatever you like. You want it to probably be at least a good 80 proof alcohol in order to give you the best results with preservation. Now just a little bit more honey here. So this, like I said, this is a go-to in my house all fall and winter. My kids absolutely love it. They ask for it every day, which is actually why I'm making it. School's back in session, and I have a couple of kids in the public school system, and they have decided to bring home some kind of a cold, and I'm trying to keep it from spreading through the house. I'm a little bit behind this year. I usually start making all my herbal medicines in August, but this year I'm a little bit behind schedule. So getting this made now, and hopefully we can, you know, nip whatever it is that's going around in the bud real quick and get us back on track. So here we go. I think that's good. That's probably about a cup. Now I'm gonna just use this spatula here to get the rest of the honey off there because I don't want to waste any of it. Okay. And then we'll give it a good stir so that we can dissolve this honey. Now, as I said, we take this every day during cold and flu season. So for the adults, we would take about a tablespoon a day. That's just what our family takes. You can feel free to take however much or however little you want. Our children take about a teaspoonful a day. If we are sick though, we tend to take more. So for myself, if I'm sick, I might take about a teaspoon every half an hour to an hour, depending on how I'm feeling, until I start feeling better. And with the kids, a half a teaspoon to a teaspoon, again, every half an hour to an hour until they start feeling better. That's just what works for us here. The beauty about herbal remedies and herbal medicines and things like that is the fact that you get to be very creative with it. You get to experiment with it and see what works best for you and for your family. So I highly recommend that you do that. It's very worth it. Okay, I think that's, oh no, we got a few more little globs in there. Let that sit there for a second and melt that down. Put my lid on. So as I've said, we have these elderberry syrup kits on our website, which I will link down below. We have 2 different kits. We have our amped up, and we have our regular, our original blend, which is just elderberries. It has all the recipe on there. Everything's measured out for you. As you can see, the recipe's pretty easy to follow. It's basically just dump it in your pan and bring it to a simmer. There's not much to it. Not much more to it than that. Okay, I think we've got this all combined. So I'm going to go ahead and pour it into my jar. You do want to pour it into something. I have this lid on here, but I'm actually going to go back and get one of these lids. I do prefer the metal lids with the rings and the bands, because I feel like they are more airtight. Well, I know they're more airtight, and I feel like when you have a better, fuller, airtight seal, it helps to preserve it that much longer. So now I'm just gonna pour that up into my jar. And you do want to keep this in your refrigerator. As I said before, it will last 3 to 5 months in your refrigerator, depending on how your family uses it. And if you want to extend the life of that, to go ahead and add some alcohol. Be careful so I don't burn my fingers. But look at the color on this syrup. It's beautiful. It's a nice, beautiful purple. So here we go. With our honey and everything in there, we got about 3 cups, back to about 3 cups of liquid. So that's going to last you quite a while if you're using a teaspoon at a time. So there you have it. That's how you get this to this elderberry syrup. I hope you enjoyed the video today. If you did, give me a thumbs up down below. Please subscribe to the channel, hit the bell button so you get notifications when I have new videos out. And thank you for watching. I'm wishing you herbal blessings and good health.